for your love, I know your body needs, 'cause baby, I'm a savage. Savage for your love, while I'm beating up your love,
We also might make a distribution to the people, almost like a dividend to the people of America.
How much are you thinking for that, sir?
Well, we're thinking maybe $1,000 to $2,000. Be great.
All right, outdoor crew, it's your into fishing, camping, and getting off the grid. Meet your new best friend, the Hunter Orange 25 quart cooler from Caddy Sports. This isn't your average cooler. It's remolded for max durability, bear-proof, and 20% lighter than other brands, so it's easy to haul whether you're deep in the backcountry or just sitting up at the dock. You'll get up to 3 days of ice retention thanks to thick, high-performance installation that means cold drinks, fresh food, and fewer ice to run, whether you chasing muddy offshore or posting up at the campsite. Best part is 40 to 50% cheaper than the big name coolers, but still built to perform season after season. And like all Caddy Sports name brands, gear is proudly made in the US. So use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off of your order today. That's caddysports.com. Go grab the Hunter Orange 25 cooler and keep your next adventure ice cold.
All right, so we have the video footage I'm going to be sharing with you of President Donald Trump announcing the $2,000 tariff checks that are going to be going out to millions of Americans. I'm going to play this for you.
Down. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble, as they were for many years. That's why we owe $38 trillion. And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. The numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. We have more than, I would say right now, more than $18 trillion. The biggest number ever is a tiny fraction of that for any country. China, the United States, the biggest number ever. If you look at the past administration, Biden, he did less than $1 trillion in 4 years. We're over $18 trillion. By the time my first year ends, we're going to have over $20 trillion of investment coming into the United States. It's unheard of. So I've been talking about it for a long time, the dividend to people that, have suffered under the Biden administration. So Biden had the highest inflation in history, and we now are at a very low point. We're going to be hitting 1.5% pretty soon. So we're at a low point, and he was a high point. We did that. Food prices are way down. It's all coming down. And the biggest decrease, of course, is energy. And, as goes energy, goes everything else. Because when energy comes down, the oil, the electric, I think you're going to see $2 gasoline or something very close to that. In fact, we're already into twos but I think you're going to be seeing very soon $2 gasoline. That's like the equivalent of a massive tax cut. But in addition to that, the great big beautiful bill gives you a very, very big tax cut. And then you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime for the middle income and for even, frankly, anybody. But you have no tax, and the no tax on tips has turned out to be a tremendous thing.
This country was built on colossal hands and unshakable gifts. At Sea of Mud Apparel, we stand for the ones who still out there putting in the work. The forgotten man and women who keeps rural America running. Our gear is made patriotic and built to last. Every stitch, every thread, made to handle real life, not runaway life. I'm a fan of this, aren't you? Whether you're working the land, fixing what's broken, and stands for what's right, we got your back. Sea of Mud Apparel, Real America Clothing Company. Show your pride, wear your gifts. Use the code RUMBLE at checkout for 15% off of your order. Visit seaofmud.com. That's seaofmud.com and gear up for the ones who still believe in America. All money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income USA citizens from the massive terrorist income pouring into our country from foreign countries, which will be substantial, will be used to sustain, pay down our national debt. Thank you for your attention of this matter, President Donald Trump said. People that are against the tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401k are higher than ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt. $37 trillion record investment in the US of A. Plants of factories are going up all over the place. A dividend at least $2,000 a person, not including high income people, will be paid to everyone. And I know everybody been, waiting on what Donald Trump's saying, about these checks. We've been waiting for over 6 months. A lot of people say, where it is? Well, we gotta go through a physical year with this president, yo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give it just a little time. You don't be rushing. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no money, you need to go get a job. And that's what the problem is with these EBTs, people with the EBTs. I'm saying not every one of them. I'm talking about the ones that are entitled and thinking that the taxpayers should, pay for their living, pay for their food, pay for their kids. You see what I'm saying? These entitlement people and women and men out there. You know what I'm saying? So if you gotta wait a little longer to get a check, because like I said, these terrorists, we're gonna keep getting these checks. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just like a one-time thing. You know what I'm saying? We are getting paid. That's why Donald Trump set up these tariffs. We gonna keep getting paid, these dividend checks. You know what I mean? So, every 3 months it should be, every quarter we should be knowing how much money that's been pouring in, And I gotta admit, what I'm saying, we have getting a lot of money in, but a lot of people ain't really seeing it because, everybody wants something for free. Everybody, hurting. I know I'm hurting as well, on a lot of things, but I'm still getting my black ass up, going to work, clocking in somewhere, and coming back home, take care of my family, watch my grandbabies, because my youngest daughter, she got to work, so I'm watching my grandbabies, and I sure ain't gonna let nobody else watch my babies, because what's been going on. People been working in witchcrafts, and then too they've been raping children and stuff. Now we not gonna have it, and I'm not trying to go past, go through this right now. It's gonna be another time, but we are talking about this dividend check that Donald Trump, he's gonna put out. You know what I mean? So people, you know what I'm saying, watch, you know what I'm saying, watch for the mailbox and watch, for your accounts to see if this money roll in. But believe me, we'll know when the money start fixing to go into your account, or you get a check, or whatever, how they do it. You know what I'm saying? This has been talked about for a while, and I hope, this is for every American. This is not for, because, well, I owe the government some money, and no, you finna get this $2,000. They ain't gonna be like, well, because Donald Trump know that it's been a lot of fraud that's going on. If you got student loans, you know what I mean? Because like my wife, she has student loans. You know what I mean? She thinking, well, I'm not going to get them because I owe student loans. No, this is for everybody. This is tariffs. This ain't got nothing to do with your student loans. This is tariffs. This is after the fact. So I'm just saying, I know that if you got student loans, you owe the government, they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it. Because like I said, these student loan stuff has been, been a fraud. You know what I'm saying? And they want to tie everybody in with massive debt, and people want to say, well, your credit score is not enough to get no car. It's all a fraud. That's why I don't, buy things. Like if I'm going to buy anything, I don't credit anything. If I want anything, I'm going to buy it fully out of my pockets. Fuck trying to get loans. Fuck trying to do all this stuff. I'm paying it whole out of my pockets. If I ain't got the money, the whole ticket of what they're asking for, I don't need it. You know what I mean? It's just real. I'm Dice Game G here on the Vicious News. Make sure you like, share this long and wide. We are VishusTv, Raw Vicious Network. We get it to you real raw and unedited. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at DiceGame615, at Dickie_Jr19. Follow us on Rumble, Big Shoe, and Telegram, and the Locale channel. I love all of y'all, and I hope you be $2,000 richer here soon. I'm out.